10 days until the exam. Okay, this is it. This is the exact moment successful people separate themselves from everyone else. It feels like I've just been chosen to save humanity. This semester, I'm getting straight A's, then a scholarship abroad, and then a job at some insane tech company. Then I become rich, and then a Forbes interview. Cut to the future. Interviewer. So how did you become this successful? Me wearing black turtleneck and holding coffee beside a skyscraper window. Everything started at that night. The night I decided to study. Cut back to reality. I'm still standing at school, staring at the wall. I walk to my desk like a professional. Stack the books one by one, like I'm collecting infinity stones. Then I open the textbook. I stare at the first page for 3 seconds, and then immediately move on to the most important part of studying, counting the pages. Okay, 213 pages. I grab my calculator. If I study 23.65825678 pages per day, then suddenly my brain interrupts. No, 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 no. The last 2 days need to be for review. Top students always review. So now I'm making a schedule. Highlighters, rulers, color coding, and even cute tiles. And 45 minutes later, the only thing I've accomplished is writing master plan. I stare at it for a second, and honestly, I feel like I could run NASA. Then I tell myself, okay, before I start, just one short break. Historical mistake. I pick up my phone just to set a timer. Then 2 hours later, I'm watching an AI-generated fruit mafia drama. An AI orange wearing sunglasses is screaming in court. He ate my family. Then the camera zooms in on a muscular banana. He lowers his head and whispers, I had no choice. Then suddenly the courtroom explodes. A pineapple storms in holding a machine gun. A grape starts crying uncontrollably. And an old peer, apparently the mafia boss, says in a deep voice, Welcome to Fruit City. And before my brain can escape, autoplay starts playing the next episode. Now a strawberry with smeared mascara is crying into his banana boyfriend. You've changed. And the banana wearing sunglasses indoors replies, Fame changed me, babe. Then out of nowhere, a pineapple rides into the scene on a motorcycle screaming, She was talking to an apple last night. Now the banana and the apple are fighting dramatically in AI rain. Meanwhile, the group in the background keeps sobbing. Love is fake. Then the video smash cuts to the wedding. Dead silence. Judge Watermelon asks, Does anyone object? Then the church's door bursts open. A toxic avocado kicks the door wide open and screams, I still love her. The banana gets so angry, he throws his protein shake all over the wall. The strawberry faints instantly, and me, completely serious and stunned, hand on my chain, locked in, like I'm analyzing the greatest piece of cinema ever created. Fully hypnotized, mouth open, brain offline. Then I realized I'm on episode 5, and I've emotionally picked sides in the fruit relationship drama. My friend calls me. Did you study? Me, having not read a single line. I'm working on a strategy. It's now 1:38 a.m. I look at the textbook. The textbook looks back at me. Heavy silence. Then my brain quietly whispers, Look, the real start should be tomorrow morning. Your brain needs a refresher, and it gets refreshed in the morning. And just like that, day one of studying and successfully, without learning a single word, but a deep understanding of the fruit mafia universe. Day 2. I walk into the house with the confidence of someone who, at 2 a.m. last night, after studying absolutely nothing, decided to turn their life around. I throw my backpack in the corner, put the textbook on the desk, and slowly pull out the chair. I sit down, exactly like the movie scene where the genius main character is about to solve time travel. I take a deep breath. Alright, this is it. 3 seconds of silence, then very gently I pick up my phone, just to set a timer. Second historical mistake. A notification pops. Bro, you coming? Just one game. And that just one game is probably the sentence responsible for the collapse of multiple civilizations. But my brain instantly turns on a defense lawyer. No, listen. A little entertainment before studying is actually healthy. The brain shouldn't be under pressure. Top students have balance. Completely reasonable. And a TED Talk level responsibility. So I opened the laptop, launched the game, and immediately I tell myself, just one match, then straight to studying. Cut. I've now spent 3 straight hours in psychological warfare against a 13-year-old named XXD Darkslayer XX, who somehow also knows my mother personally. At this point, I'm no longer functioning as a normal human being. Somewhere in the middle of the game, I got so close to the monitor that if the screen sneezed, it would hit me directly in the face. My sitting position is no longer explainable by physics. One leg under me and another leg in another dimension. My spine is shaped like a shrimp, but none of that matters right now because all that matters right now is rank. Rank is everything. Then the game suddenly gets too competitive, like way too competitive. To the point where every loss genuinely feels like I failed my nation in wartime. My friend on Discord goes, "Bro, relax, it's just a game." Just a game? Just a game? I invested 3 hours, all my brain cells, and my entire mental stability into this, and you're telling me it's just a game? Then I say the most dangerous sentence known to mankind. Nah, I'm not sleeping on a loss. And somewhere deep inside the universe, the devil quietly checks a box on a clipboard. It's now 12:48 a.m. The room is dark. Only the monitor light remains. Next to me is a cup of tea that, if it was sent to the laboratory, it would probably lead to a discovery of a new life form. Then suddenly, during the loading screen, I look over at my textbook, still sitting there, clean, quiet, innocent, like a disappointed father. Heavy silence. Then my brain, in Morgan Freeman's voice, whispers gently, "Look, the real start matters. And real starts happen in the morning. Successful people start in the morning." And me, 5 minutes after screaming at a random stranger online, slowly nods. Yeah, this time is serious. Then I set my alarm for 6 a.m. tomorrow. While deep down, even I know that alarm is simply the next victim. And thus, day 2 of the exam preparation comes to an end. 0 pages studies, 9 hours of gaming, 27 last game bros, and the complete collapse of the master plan. And just like that, days passed, and technically I was still studying, but to be honest, I looked more like an NPC, walking laps around my room with absolutely no quest sign. Every time I tried to focus, my brain would suddenly activate dangerous shower thought mode. Like I'd be halfway through one paragraph, then randomly stare at the wall and think, what if penguins had knees? How cursed would their walking animation be? And then for the next 5 minutes, instead of studying, I'm mentally rewinding. Human knee penguins, walking through a school hallway. Then I'd snap back to reality, read 2 more lines, and my brain immediately goes, wait, if sharks fall asleep, do they drown or what? And that was it. Study session over. At this point, not only did I know nothing about the exam, but I was also emotionally invested in marine biology, and somehow the story continued. Technically, I was still studying, but mostly just enough so my consistency wouldn't personally beat me to death. Like I'd read 2 lines, then spend 40 minutes staring at the ceiling, like a philosopher who just lost custody of the reality. 2 days before the exam. Critical condition. My brain has officially stopped accepting information. Everything I read felt like it bounced directly off my skull and exited the atmosphere. Then I decided, no, this is actually time. I need to start. I look at the clock, it's 9:07, and my brain instantly goes, nope, a real study session needs to be clean and at a good starting time. 9:30 has a better energy. Fair enough, so I waited. 9:26. I opened the book and my brain goes, no, 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 there's only 4 minutes left. If you start now, the vibe is ruined. Exactly at 9:30. Honestly, it made sense. Then 9:30 arrives. I placed my hand dramatically on the book. Then my brain whispered, look, 10 is way more cleaner. Successful people love round numbers. And this cycle continued for so long. Then suddenly it was 1:47 p.m. and I hadn't even read the chapter title. Then my brain goes, which is weirdly productive, only during academic emergencies, came up with a solution. I suddenly jump up with a purpose. I start cleaning the house like a UN inspectors were arriving tomorrow morning. I vacuumed, wiped everything down, folded clothes, organized the closet. And 2 hours later, my room cleaner than ever. I sat down in silence, exhausted, emotionally defeated. I looked at the book. The book looked back at me. Bro, heavy silence. Then my brain, like a creative director who should absolutely not be trusted, softly said, Look, you're under pressure right now. The brain can't learn under stress. You need to relax first. And literally moments later, there I was, scrolling through Netflix. Just one episode. The greatest lie in human history. The night before the exam, it was over. Absolutely over. I was sitting at my desk, notes in front of me, 3 coffees, 2 energy drinks, and a body that's basically running on emergency screenshots. It's 2:17 a.m. I'm reading the same paragraph for the 8th time, but my brain has officially stopped cooperating. Like my eyes are still looking at the notes, but my consciousness has already left the server. Then suddenly I realize something. My brain has literally crawled out of my head, very casually. A tiny little dude, angry, massive eye bags, packing a tiny suitcase. And I ask him, Excuse me? My brain, without even looking at me, says, Nah, bro, I can't do this anymore. Then it zips up the suitcase shut. Me. Where are you going? My brain. Anywhere that doesn't have a chapter 5. Then it walks towards the edge of the desk, and this man even called an imaginary taxi. Now I'm panicking. Hey, get back here. We have an exam tomorrow. My brain. We don't have an exam. You have an exam. Then I put my headphones in. At this point, I'm fully crashing out. I stand up, grab my brain by the collar. You are not leaving. My brain. Let me go. I've survived on caffeine and stress for 3 days. Then suddenly, smack. I slap him. Silence. My brain is in shock. He slowly puts his hand on his cheek. Me breathing heavily. Sit down. We're at least memorizing the definitions. My brain stares at me for a few seconds, then sighs, picks up the suitcase, and sadly, like an employee forced to work overtime, climbs back into my brain. But before going back in, he mutters, This workplace is toxic. Cut. Exam warning. I'm sitting in class. I look like a Minecraft character who hasn't slept in 3 nights. The teacher places the exam paper in front of me. I flip over. Question 1. Question 2. My entire brain has turned into a cricket sound effect. There's nothing in there. No formula, no definition, no nothing. Just wind and the echoes. Then very quietly, from one corner of my mind, I see my brain. Lying on a chair, wearing sunglasses, holding a coconut drink. He looks at me, takes a sip, and says, Good luck, champ!